You know what, man? Gaming used to mean something to me. There was a kind of magic in it. In Gears of War, Final Fantasy VII, and all those nights spent playing with my brothers, playing The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, or getting lost alone in some other world. Back then, man, games felt like an adventure. A real escape. The characters, the struggles, the stories. They pulled you in because they mattered. But somewhere along the way, that feeling has just completely disappeared. And I find myself rarely playing video games, if at all, and even when I do, they're either remakes or games made back in a time when developers actually gave a shit about what they were putting out. These days, gaming feels hollow. Generic stories, lifeless characters, and a cash shop waiting behind every menu screen. And nowhere is that more obvious than in Blue Protocol Star Residence. Blue Protocol is a game that I'd had my eye on for quite a while now, actually. I've never been a big fan of MMOs. Even the most popular ones couldn't quite grab my attention. I did get all the way to Stormblood in Final Fantasy XIV, but that's as far as I could ever get. The combat never quite pulled me because I'm more of a fan of action combat, and that's what set Blue Protocol apart for me. The combat, for one, just looked incredible. The movement, the animations, it had all this energy that most MMOs just don't have. And then there are the visuals. Oh my god, the visuals. The game looked gorgeous in its trailers, and man, it still looks pretty gorgeous now. But like a lot of modern games, that beauty only goes skin deep. Underneath all that style is yet another disappointment, and honestly, at this point, I just don't know why anyone's surprised anymore. How many times do people have to be fooled to get the picture? There were 26,000 people watching this game live on Twitch, and honestly, it just makes me stop and think, have we really gotten so desperate as a community that 26,000 people are tuning in to watch a game that can literally play itself?
Finally, the real gameplay? Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's actually talk about the game for a bit. You can play Blue Protocol Star Residence one of two ways, on PC or on mobile. This should already be enough of a red flag, but obviously, as a PC gamer, I played on PC. There were login issues I had to contend with for some reason. I had to use my hotspot to even be able to successfully register to play the game, but whatever. Like I said, it's a mobile game first. Anyway, that's fine. Honestly, it's the least of your problems when playing Blue Protocol. The story is nothing to write home about. It's as soulless and generic as it ever could be, but to be fair, that's most MMOs anyway, so I digress. Bad guy wears hooded clothing, casts dark miasma that affects our main cast, but Kirito over here can withstand it because he's special. Need I say more? Let's talk about the UI. It's atrocious. There are menus within menus within menus. It's hard to remember where you need to click or what buttons you need to press to get to where you want to be. The translation also is mostly fine, but something about it just feels off, like it was translated in a hurry.
Hibachi benihana teriyaki.
Then there's this cheap plastic quality to everything. You feel it from the moment you boot up the game, from the way the menus navigate, to how your starting gear is already level 10, to how the only thing that actually levels you up are the linear-ass story quests. After 2 hours of playing the game just doing the main story, I was already level 17.
What?
I mean, I don't play MMOs, but that's not how a typical MMO progression system is supposed to work. Barring all that, my biggest problem with the game is just how easy it is. Blue Protocol could have the slimiest gacha mechanics that a gacha game could have, the likes of which this world has never seen, and I still wouldn't give a rat's ass if the combat felt tight and the difficulty felt right. But it doesn't. Animations feel stilted and kinda clunky. Enemies barely do any damage to you, and at a certain point, you realize there's no reason to use your skills, no reason to dodge, no reason to engage with any of the mechanics that are supposed to make action combat fun. You just hold left click and win anyway. And that's when the light bulb goes off in your head, and you realize why this game was doomed to fail from the start. You realize why the menus are the way they are. You realize why everything has this mobile game feeling atmosphere. And that's because that is where their focus is. They don't care about the people playing on PC, they care about the players playing on mobile. That's where their cash cow is gonna be, and that's exactly the purpose this game is gonna serve. I don't need to know why there are Will Wish coins, or Meowlux coins, or Rose Orbs, or Luno. I don't even need to know what they do to understand what's going on here. The developers don't want your time, they want your money. And that's the free-to-play genre in a nutshell. It's a shame too, because the game's graphics really are beautiful. And there's clearly an audience for an MMO in this style. Again, look how many people were live streaming it on Twitch and how many people were watching. There are things to like about this game though. Enemy design reminds me of Monsters from Tales of Vesperia, an amazing RPG. The hunts can be pretty fun. I mean, the fight with this boar was cool, but God, I just wish he did damage to me. The environments, I can't gush about them enough. Even my outfit, I ended up feeling like Monkey D. Luffy with my straw hat and red shorts. The jumping mechanic too is a fun way to mess around and get around the world. The mounts being monsters and the way you can summon them in battle, it's all really cool. And it makes me wonder, are the things I like about this game just remnants of what could have been before it was scrapped in Japan and handed off to Shanghai Bokura to do whatever they wanted with it? Why couldn't Japan have made things work and turned this into a genuine anime MMO experience? Why couldn't this have had a genuine chance in the West without it being turned into a mobile cash grab by Shanghai Bokura? Because the way things are going right now for this game, it's gonna crash and burn. A week from now, Blue Protocol will be gone, forgotten. No one's gonna even remember its name before the month is over. And when that happens, the developers of the original Blue Protocol will look at the numbers and think they were right to scrap it. They'll convince themselves no one ever wanted this kind of MMO to begin with. And this is exactly why I've become so jaded with the gaming industry. There's such a massive disconnect between developers and the audience, between the people making the games and the gamers playing them, that no one seems to know what to do anymore. Developers think it's that gamers genuinely just didn't enjoy the game and that they gotta reinvent the wheel to satisfy them. But in reality, what's really needed are just the smallest of tweaks, tiny adjustments that could have made the game truly great. But when you have things like time-gating content to keep you from playing so that you don't blast through the game too quickly, I don't even give a shit if the time gate is temporary. Gamers need to wake the fuck up and realize what they're being subjected to. This isn't a design choice, it's a leash to hide the fact that this game has no content to offer you on release. It sucks, and it's even more embarrassing that something this half-baked is getting this much attention. In the end, Blue Protocol Star Resonance feels like a desperate attempt to reassemble a broken, discarded project, and the bare minimum was done to glue it back together like some off-brand Humpty Dumpty, all for the sake of squeezing every last cent out of a failed project. This is modern gaming, and sadly, it looks like it's here to stay. And honestly, that's where I'm at with Star Resonance. It's not just a bad MMO, it's a perfect example of what's wrong with modern gaming as a whole. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you had a completely different experience, or maybe you agree and you've seen even worse examples. I'm actually really curious how far this kind of monetization has gone in other MMOs, since you guys watching probably know this genre better than I do, so drop your take below. I'm gonna be reading through them. And hey, if this kind of thing pisses you off as much as it does me, I've got a lot more videos where that came from, so like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.